I had learned that lesson. Don't get under stress just because this is the first company that's coming and you want to just be out of the process. This is your only shot at getting a job that will be at least in the right industry and in the right field where you want to work. But don't come under stress and just apply anywhere and just get a job. Getting a job is not the goal. Getting the right job with a place that suits your interest is the goal.
MBA was a peer influence decision, or was that consciously taken ki I want to go to IIMs or whatever?
So there were essentially three paths out of engineering college. The first was that you go to work in an IT company, which in my case I think was Accenture. The second is that you go abroad and do a master's in engineering, or do it in India, which is IITs are usually considered good places to do that. And the third is that you pursue a degree in management or any other finance related, either in India or abroad. Now, to go abroad to do an MBA, you need a certain amount of work ex. So that would lead us back to path one, which is working for Accenture. Or path two meant that you will basically spend a large chunk of your life and career in the technical field, which I think by the time you're in fourth year, or third year even, you realize that is this something I want to spend my life doing or not? And for me, I wasn't entirely sure. Like, I did not feel it to be that interesting for me that I can do a master's and then spend next 10 years working in engineering field either in India or abroad. And when it came to management, I'll be honest, I think I knew very little. But I did know some of my sister's batchmates who had done business school and were working in fairly interesting jobs in finance, in consulting, marketing, all of that. So I didn't really have much of idea of what I will do after an MBA, but I had seen those people and like I admired their lifestyle and their personality. So I thought, yeah, this is something that I could look at.
Did money at any point of time become a motivation, or was that glamour attractive towards the school? Honest answer.
Business school, in fact, is an investment. You have to spend a lot of money on fees and possibly take a loan. Like I said, the glamour of seeing those people ahead of me, they looked rich. Okay, I don't know if they actually were, but they had a great lifestyle. But I did feel like, when you're young, you're very overconfident. You feel like paisa to kahin bhi kama lenge, right? Whether you, even in the engineering field, you go abroad, you will make, $70,000 straight out. Or if you're in India, okay, you will get like a 12 lakh salary. So that I was sure.
How was your CAT journey? Were you confident कि हाँ ये तो crack हो जाएगा after you started taking mocks, or were you nervous about that?
CAT is that kind of exam where, controversial view, I just don't think you can prepare that much. Like you can prepare and maybe get a few percentile points. Like if you're at 95, you can go to 99 maybe. But broadly, unless you're really taking it very seriously, which most of us don't, you will end up in a particular zone. And the best way to know which zone you'll be in is if you're appearing for those mock CATs. I think time is the one that gives you the most accurate, like relative, comparative, percentile. So उसमें आ रहा था, I used to get 98, 97, कभी 99 हो जाता था. So I knew that there is, I will get in somewhere. Will I get into the best business school? I don't know. Depends on the kind of day I'm having. But I will get admission, at a place of my liking. That's where I was. But I didn't really know what the process is beyond just appearing for CAT. Like I had very little idea about GDPI and what is it that they ask in those interviews. How do you really ace a group discussion? So I think that was my weak point. And really, honestly, I had only seen people from a distance. So I did not really know anyone who had been through the journey and cracked it.
So what all calls did you get? I'm sure you did well at the CAT, but like how much did you score and which calls did you get, if you remember that?
I appeared for the XLRA exam and for the CAT. And I also think I wrote the NMIMS exam and the SIBM exam. Those were the exams that I wrote. I got a call from all except XLRI, where I think I had like a 98 percentile or something and did not want to go to the other college, which was HR focused. In CAT, I had a 99.92 percentile, which is high because I got lucky on that day. On that particular day, they had decided to give an extra weightage to the verbal section. I don't know if they ever did that again. I'm not sure. But for me, that was really good because verbal was my strength. So I ended up getting like almost 100 percentile on verbal, which was a higher portion of the entire CAT, which is why I got a 99.9 percentile. Otherwise, I would have got my usual.
You know, I remember this because I sat in the exam hall, and the moment they say that, open, and then you read the number of questions, and you saw 25, 40. I'm like, 40? And the thing is that they didn't tell you which section was 40 questions initially, because they just write on the top section 1, 2, 3, and the order also is different for different people. So this is like the time when we used to write paper pencil CAT, right? Everybody's orders were different. The question order was different. The sectional, which section comes first, which comes second, is also different for every individual, as the seating arrangement is. So only when you open the this, you realize that, okay, it is your section that is your, in the sense, in her case, for example, it was verbal. That has more weightage this time than the others. But I think it could have gone either way, right?
It could have, and I'll explain what went wrong also. So I had, in my mind, I had this strategy that I will spend the least amount of time on verbal because I'm really good at it and I can just do it quickly, and spend longer on DI, which was like my weak area. But this threw me off a little bit because there are more questions. So now how much time do I spend on this? So I ended up spending a little more time than I should have. And ended up neglecting the DI portion of it, where I got one answer wrong, and that just brought me to a percentile which was below 90. So I had an 89 percentile in DI and a 96 percentile in quant, which is good enough to get calls. So again, I don't know how it is now, but back then they were like
I think
sectional
they can't
cutoffs.
relate to it at all, because I don't think they have the option of choosing how much time they can spend on a section anymore. I do personally feel that CAT used to be a far better exam earlier, because it was truly a test of your strategy and how you allocate time, what to go after, what not to go after. Abhi, it's become a little more standardized, where you only get exact time. There is a certain pattern to which everything comes. You can kind of almost predict what kind of questions come.
So I ended up with a great CAT percentile, but a 89 percentile in DI, which automatically just did not get me a lot of calls. So I had calls from Lucknow and Indore. And I can speak more about my Lucknow experience, but let's just say that they had a view that people should have, work experience, at least back then. I don't know how it is now. So I could not clear that, and Indore was my next best bet compared to all the other colleges that I had got calls from.
When you were entering Indore, did you have a domain in mind? I want to get into finance, marketing, consulting?
Yes, because I'm from Bombay and I went to DJ Sanghvi. There was a lot of prestige associated with finance jobs. Marketing had this notion that it was it's like sales, and it's somehow less prestigious than consulting or finance. So my parents had kind of drilled it into my head that you need to pass out, get a job in a finance company in Bombay, and come back and live at home. Like, that was the goal. So it's okay if it's finance or whatever else, but you have to come back to Bombay, and this is the city you need to be in. It's the best city in India, right? Every Bombay person believes this with all their heart. Some people even say it's the best city in Asia, world, So that's what I had in mind. But by now, I had realized that listening to your parents for career advice is not necessarily the best thing for you. So I went to Indore with an open mind, okay, without much idea of what I'll be good at or what I will find interesting. But yes, I had decided that I will not do something which I don't like. I think IIMs are structured in a fantastic way for people like me, which is freshers who have no idea and they're just trying to figure their way out. And the first year is not meant for you to choose anything. It is just a pure exploration to see where you stand among your peers, what is the kind of courses that you enjoy, what activities, and activities are really important in IIMs beyond studies, like what activities do you like to do. So all of these things really helped me figure out where I want to be. But by the time I was in my second year, I was really sure that I wanted to take up a job in sales and marketing.
Where did you intern?
So I interned at Colgate-Palmolive.
Did your decision of getting into marketing become more strong after going to Colgate? What was that experience like?
It was a good learning experience. Give me first-hand. I spent basically most of my time inside stores, living in stores, modern trade stores, what my project was on, and just looking at consumers, seeing what they're buying, why they're buying, in a self-service format where nobody's really telling you, ki ye wala le lo. So I just spent my time doing that. I think internship is a great place to really start at the at the ground level and in the market. It definitely made me feel like this is something that I can do for a living.
So before we come to your final placement at ITC, what did you do in the 2 years at Indore? How were your 2 years? What were you involved in? What did you enjoy, not enjoy? Tell us about that.
I think the first 3 months was just like adjustment phase because I had never lived outside of home. It was my first experience in a hostel. So really just adjusting to life. It was also really hectic. I think before summer placements, it was all about just how do you get placed, what preparation do you do to ensure that. And as a fresher, there's like this additional pressure because everyone tells you that.
हर आदमी का ये story होता है. मतलब in the sense that fresher बोलेगा कि as a fresher, there was more pressure. If you speak to a WorkX guy, he or she'll be like, "Arey, I have WorkX, so nobody will shortlist me for summer." So मेरे पे भी बहुत सारा pressure है. So that sounds like a very everybody has pressure. I didn't, by the way. I can tell you that for sure because I was like super clear about wanting to be an entrepreneur very early on. So you finally got placed at ITC, and were you thrilled when you got that offer? What was going through your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think final placements is a very pressure cooker situation. Especially if you don't get a PPO like I didn't. So then you have that additional stress of what's going to happen. You don't really know a lot. So it's your first lesson in dealing with ambiguity. You will get to know who's coming maybe one night before and you have to be okay with it. So for me, the lesson I learned in final placements was something that I had been learning for 2 years. I'll again repeat it, which is only do what you like and learn to say no early on. Because I had seen a lot of my seniors going for interviews just for like practice or fun and they ended up getting placed. And the thing is that our campus had a rule which is you get one offer and you're out. You do not get to collect offers like you can do now. I had learned that lesson that don't get under stress just because this is the first company that's coming and you want to just be out of the process. This is your only shot at getting a job that will be at least in the right industry and in the right field where you want to work. So I had learned that lesson and I said no for like quite many, I did not apply to a lot many jobs that had come, all of which were in finance, consulting. So I was very clear that I will wait. The waiting was excruciating because consumer companies come much later in the hierarchy of things at IIM. So I think the waiting was excruciating, but it's totally worth it because like I said, you only get one shot at deciding what you want to do. So ITC was the first FMCG company that had come and I didn't know much about ITC but again like I had friends in other campuses who had already gotten placed so they told me a little bit about what it's like. I had a great interview with them. I thought I'd done badly because I just argued with them endlessly but that's what they were looking for, which is fine. So that's how I got placed and after that it was like pressure gone pretty much, and that understanding of business that you get now from talking to shopkeepers, that's something that is really required in the early stages of your career. Otherwise you just become like a PowerPoint person and it's hard to make decisions without that judgment coming to you.
Performance marketing, e-commerce marketing, content marketing. Is this the world that you see yourself in? If you dream to work in these roles at Hindustan Unilever Limited, here's your chance. Apply to Altuni's certificate program in digital marketing with HUL. The participants achieved a return of 12 times the investment with an 80% average salary hike. Hurry up! Apply now to the program from the link in the description. Limited seats available.
I had learned that lesson. Don't get under stress just because this is the first company that's coming and you want to just be out of the process. This is your only shot at getting a job that will be at least in the right industry and in the right field where you want to work. But don't come under stress and just apply anywhere and just get a job. Getting a job is not the goal. Getting the right job in a place that suits your interest is the goal. So ITC was the first FMCG company that had come. I didn't know much about ITC, but again, like I had friends in other campuses who had already gotten placed, so they told me a little bit about what it's like. But it was fine. I think I really liked the people I interviewed with. They liked my energy too, and that's why they hired me. They told me later that I gave them so much pushback that they thought, good, like this is the kind of person we want. I thought I'd done badly because I just argued with them endlessly, but that's what they were looking for. So that's how I got placed. And after that, it was like, yeah, pressure gone pretty much.